let us discuss the light reaction, okay, which is very important for photosynthesis, right? Now we have seen that the structure of chloroplast, right, where thylakoids are there, group of thylakoid or stack of thylakoid to form grana. This one is thylakoid, right? Our thylakoids are interconnected by stroma lamellae. Now, upon the membrane of thylakoid, light reaction is going to take place. Right. So now I am drawing the thylakoid again. Right. Just I am drawing the thylakoid again. So this is the thylakoid. Okay. For our understanding sake, I am just drawing a double membrane thylakoid layer. This is the thylakoid. Right. Now there are two photosystems are present where it contains chlorophyll A as a reaction center. So this one is photosystem 2, this one is photosystem 1. Right, photosystem 2 and photosystem 1. Now here it contains accessory pigments surrounded to the reaction center. Right? Now what happened? So chlorophyll A of photosystem 2 get the wavelength of 680 nanometer from sun. Right. So chlorophyll A absorbs 680 nanometers of wavelength, okay, and becomes excited. So a pair of electrons are jumps from its orbit. Right. Here accessory pigments are also going to play an important role by absorbing some wavelength and transferring it into reaction center. Right. Now the excited electrons jump from its atomic radius and these electrons are accepted by primary electron acceptor of PS2. Right. Now we are going to discuss about light reaction where photosystem 2 comes first, then photosystem 1 comes later. Right. Now in photosystem 2, the reaction center absorbs wavelength from sun and becomes excited. Then a pair of electrons jumps from its atomic radius accepted by primary electron acceptor. Right. Now these two electrons transfers to the electron transport chain where plastoquinone absorbs the two pair of electron. A pair of electron from primary electron acceptor. Now when pair of electron are moving through the plastoquinone, then it loses some energy, right? It loses some energy and it transfers a pair of proton into the lumen. This is lumen, right? This one is stroma outside the here. The reaction is going to take place here and this one is stroma, inside there is lumen. Now here protons are there. Now these protons are transferring into lumen through plastoquinone, right? So two pair of proton is transferred to lumen through plastoquinone. Now when a pair of electron moves from plastoquinone, this is accepted by cytochrome BC, cytochrome complex. Right, cytochrome complex. Right. Now, when a pair of electron is moving from cytochrome complex, here the energy gets lost and to balance the energy, ADP adenosine diphosphate plus inorganic phosphate binds to form adenosine triphosphate, which is one of the end products of light reaction. Right. Now, when pair of electron is moving from cytochrome complex to plastocyanin, right? Plastocyanin. From plastocyanin, it goes to reaction PS1. It goes to PS1. Now, PS1 also gets excited by taking wavelength of 700 nanometer. Right. Now, after passing electrons, it becomes excited and transfer a pair of electron to primary electron acceptor of PS1. Now, from PS1, a pair of electrons moves to ferridoxine. Right? From ferridoxine, it reduces its electrons to NADP reductase. Right? NADP reductase. Now, see here, a pair of electrons lost by the excitation of chlorophyll A. Now, here to continue the cycle, right, there is the splitting of water molecule takes place inside the thylakoid membrane. So, this one is water splitting complex. Water splitting complex, where water is split to produce two pair of electron plus pair of proton plus nascent oxygen is released into the atmosphere. This oxygen is released into the atmosphere as a byproduct where oxygen is releasing from plant. Right? So that's why at starting of the lesson I said you oxygen is one of the essential gas for all living organisms which is produced by the process of photosynthesis. Right? Now, this oxygen is released as a byproduct and oxygen is released into the lumen by splitting of water molecule. Right? Now, what happened? To balance or to continue the chain, here whatever the released protons, electrons are there, that is sent to photosystem 2 to continue the cycle. Right? Now, here two protons or pair of protons from stroma to lumen passed through plastoquinone, right? And by the splitting of water, pair of protons are also released into the lumen, right? Now, these protons are going to act as the reducing. These protons are adding with NADP reductase to produce the reducing power. Okay, that is NAD plus, where two protons are added to produce NADPH plus H plus, and this is the end product of light reaction. Okay, which is reducing power, to reduce the carbon dioxide. Okay, carbon dioxide to produce carbohydrates. Okay, now, so here in lumen the proton concentration increased, right? So there, whenever the proton concentration is increased, then the protons concentration of lumen is increased and the concentration in the stroma decreased. So whenever the concentration increases in the lumen, automatically they tend to move from higher concentration to lower concentration. Right? Now what happened? These protons doesn't move because it is a membrane layer, because it is protected by a membrane. So that's why it requires a proton gradient. Right? So proton gradient to pass the protons from lumen to stroma is nothing but F0 and F1 channel. Right? Which is like this. This is F0 and this is F1. Right? Where these protons move from lumen to stroma. Now, whenever the protons are moving from lumen to stroma, they pass through F0 channel, right? Then it releases some kind of energy. Okay, so this energy to balance the energy, ATP, ADP is added to proton. ADP plus inorganic phosphate is added so that it produces ATP and the protons are moved outside from the lumen to the stroma. Right, now here ATP is produced, which is a byproduct of light reaction. So this is explained by chemoosmotic process, right? Okay, చెప్పనా బట్